I found out my fiancée was cheating weeks before our wedding, so I let her expose herself in front of everyone. Hey Reddit, I'm not really sure where to start, but I need to get this off my chest. For obvious reasons, I won't use real names, but everything else here is painfully true. I, 32 male, was engaged to Maddie, 29 female. We had been together for nearly 5 years and engaged for a little over 1. I loved this woman more than anything. I thought we were going to grow old together, build a family, do the whole forever thing. Turns out, I was living in a fantasy while she was busy writing a whole different story. Maddie was everything I wanted on paper. Smart, funny, driven, beautiful. We met at a friend's birthday party and hit it off immediately. She was the first woman I could really see a future with. We moved in together after a year, got a dog, talked about baby names. It was that kind of relationship. But here's the thing about gut feelings. Don't ignore them. The suspicion. About 2 months before the wedding, things started to feel off. Nothing drastic, just subtle changes. She'd guard her phone more, stay later at work more often, and seem distant during conversations. When I'd ask if everything was okay, she'd reassure me she was just stressed with wedding planning. I chalked it up to normal pre-wedding jitters. But then I caught her smiling at her phone at 2 a.m. When I asked what was funny, she quickly put it down and said, "Just a meme," and then turned the screen off. It bothered me, but I didn't press it that night. The next day, though, I couldn't shake the feeling. I did something I never thought I'd do. I went through her iPad. She rarely used it, but it was synced to her iMessages. That's when everything shattered. The truth. She'd been messaging a guy, let's call him Ryan. The messages were explicit. There was emotional intimacy, sexual conversations, and even pictures. They had hooked up multiple times over the past few months. Worse, he wasn't a random guy. He was someone from her job, a coworker, a married coworker. I sat there for almost 2 hours, scrolling through message after message of her lying, sneaking around, laughing behind my back. She told him things like, "I feel more alive with you than I have in years," and "Sometimes I wish I didn't have to marry him." I felt numb, physically numb, like I couldn't breathe. The woman I was about to devote my life to didn't even respect me enough to end things before opening her legs to someone else. But instead of confronting her right away, I took screenshots, dozens of them. I needed a plan. The fallout. I didn't tell anyone what I found right away, not even my closest friends. I wanted to see if she'd come clean. Over the next couple weeks, I paid attention. I watched her lie to my face every day. I even asked her straight up if she was sure about the wedding. Her answer? "I've never been more excited." So I waited. I waited until the rehearsal dinner. It was at a nice restaurant. Both families' wedding party. Even out-of-town guests were there. Everyone was laughing, making toasts, enjoying the night. I stood up and said I wanted to say a few words. Maddie smiled at me, thinking I was about to get all mushy. Here's roughly what I said. "I want to thank everyone for being here. I know weddings are expensive, and a lot of you traveled far to celebrate with us. I want to toast to love, real love, the kind that's honest, loyal, and true. Unfortunately, that's not the love I'm receiving. Over the past few months, Maddie has been sleeping with a married man from her job. I have the texts, the photos, everything. I was going to stay quiet, but I realized, what better time to tell the truth than in front of the people who matter most? The room fell silent. Her face went ghost white. Then came the tears, the begging. Her mom started crying. Her dad tried to approach me, but I told him to back off. I left the restaurant, went straight home, and had a moving truck come the next morning to grab my stuff. Maddie tried calling me nonstop. I blocked her on everything. She even tried showing up at my mom's house. I told her through the door, "You made your choice. Now live with it." The aftermath. The part where karma showed up. That was 3 months ago. It feels like a lifetime. I canceled everything the day after the rehearsal dinner. Vendors, venue, photographer. Most of them were understanding. A few refused refunds, but I ate the cost. Around $4,000 down the drain. Worth every penny for the clarity and freedom I bought with it. Maddie tried calling me hundreds of times in the following days. She texted, emailed, DM'd me on Instagram. At first, it was apologies. I made a mistake. It didn't mean anything. I still love you. Then it turned into gaslighting. You blindsided me in front of everyone. You ruined my life. Eventually, it became desperation. Please, just talk to me. I can't sleep. I can't eat. Please. I didn't respond, not once. She showed up at my mom's house crying. My mom, who had adored her, opened the door, told her, "You broke him," and shut it in her face. Maddie had no idea my mom had seen the screenshots too. She lost more than just me. Her bridesmaids dropped her one by one. Turns out, some of them had suspected things but didn't want to believe it. Once the truth came out, the support vanished. She even lost her maid of honor, her childhood best friend, who told her, "I don't want someone like you standing next to me at my own wedding." Then came the fallout at work. Apparently, Ryan's wife, who I later had a respectful, emotional conversation with, printed out the messages between him and Maddie and emailed them directly to HR, along with a note titled, "Thought you should know what goes on after hours." Both Maddie and Ryan were investigated. Ryan was demoted and transferred to a satellite office 2 hours away. Maddie didn't get fired, but she was pulled from a major project she'd been working on for over a year. She also lost the promotion she was practically guaranteed. Word spread. People talked. You can see it on her face in pictures. She knew her reputation was trashed. And as poetic justice would have it, about a month later, Maddie posted a photo of herself on a solo trip in some cabin with the caption, "Healing season. Finding myself again." I almost laughed. I didn't comment, didn't like it, but a mutual friend messaged me the same day and said, "She looks like she's aged 5 years since that dinner." As for me, I started therapy and poured my focus into rebuilding myself. I picked up hobbies I had dropped during the relationship, started running again, joined a boxing gym, even traveled to Colorado solo for a weekend and hiked a trail we once talked about doing together. I reconnected with friends I had unintentionally distanced myself from. I stopped blaming myself. And the best part? Last week, I met someone, completely by accident, at a bookstore of all places. We started talking about a book we were both looking at, and it turned into coffee. No expectations, no pressure. Just real. She doesn't know the full story yet, just that I recently got out of a long engagement. But when I'm ready, I'll tell her. And maybe, this time, I'll get the ending I deserve. So yeah, Reddit. That's how I found out my fiancé was cheating on me weeks before our wedding, and how I walked away with my dignity, self-respect, and peace. Maddie lost everything that mattered. I gained everything I forgot I had. Thanks for listening. If you're ever in doubt, trust your gut. And remember, silence is power. Closure is overrated. And karma doesn't miss.